Hi, I'm Paulette Paredes, and Monica Szaflik will be interviewing me on The Scoop. Next on WRHS.
Hi, and welcome to The Scoop, Ridgewood High School's guest interview talk show. I'm your host, Monica Szaflik. Joining us is Ms. Paredes, teacher of business. Welcome to The Scoop, Ms. Paredes.
Hi.
You mentioned you first arrived here at Ridgewood in 1967, prior to the beginning of the show. Were you at any other schools prior to this?
No, I came here right from college.
What made you decide Ridgewood, to come to Ridgewood?
Well, because when I started here, Ridgewood was under a modular schedule, and they had a lot of innovative kind of things. They were tops in the nation, and I really liked the way the whole setup was. It was really exciting to want to come here right after college.
Okay, which college did you go to?
Went to DePaul University.
Oh, I'd like to go there.
Got my bachelor's and master's there, so great alma mater.
Have you coached any teams or clubs at Ridgewood?
Well, I've never coached any teams, but I did start almost all of the vocational clubs. I started SBLA, which is current now, and DECA, and we did have a club called OEA, which is Office Education Association, and we had a club called VICA, Vocational Industrial Clubs of America. All the vocational areas that had competition and were nationwide, I started at Ridgewood.
Okay. Are there any clubs or sports that were at Ridgewood when you came here that aren't offered anymore?
Well, we don't have VICA, and we don't have OEA, because we now have FBLA. So those are the ones that I had. And that's about it, because I also did yearbook, and I did some plays, and we still have those.
How has SBLA changed over the years?
SBLA, I think, is growing. I think they do more and more things with community service. I think we started it off with a small group of students, and we have a big variety of students who want to get involved in a lot of different areas. So I think it's a good organization.
WRHS has been around Ridgewood for quite some time. Do you remember some of the events or programs that were on the TV or radio when you first got here?
Well, actually, the radio show was very primitive. It was one of the things that I helped start at Ridgewood. And Kevin Szaflik was instrumental in getting it organized. It used to be in the main office, and we realized, we wanted to have more of a variety. We had students come in to gain their speaking skills and tried a lot of different things. I think that it got to grow. He actually did all the planning and everything, and I just kind of got everybody going. And he ended up staying here, as you know, and he's now in charge of all the different shows, so I'm really proud of that.
What is the difference you see in students today as compared to when you first started working here?
Different? I think students haven't changed much. I mean, the hairstyles might have changed, the clothes might have changed, the fads. I think as far as students are concerned, they're pretty much the same. I mean, I think that I've had good rapport with a lot of students, and there were times when they had the bouffant hairdos or the spiked hairdos and the shaved heads, and girls had hair way over up there, short hair, long hair, clothes styles, totally different fads. But students themselves, I don't think there's that much of a change in them as far as personality.
Okay. Is there any one person or thing you'll miss most about Ridgewood?
I think as you move on to another part of your life, you look for things for the future. future, I don't think I'm going to miss anyone's part. I think that as far as Ridgewood, I keep in touch with a lot of students from the past. I've got about 200 alumni who've contacted me, so that's kind of nice. And so I'll miss being with the students, probably. Hopefully I'll keep in touch with some of the alumni.
What are some things that have changed in your department over the years?
Well, in the business department, when I first came here, we had manual typewriters. You probably are way too young to know about that, but the manual typewriters didn't have any cords, nothing electric, and that's how we taught typing. And I taught shorthand, which is symbols for words, which is no longer taught. And so we went from manual typewriters to electric typewriters and then to computers. So in the business area, there's a big change as far as technology is concerned. Also, in AV equipment, Ridgewood was one of the top-notch schools in the nation because we were supposed to have the best technology. Well, I didn't know if they didn't call it technology then, but we had reel-to-reel film. We had tape recorders that were huge. I mean, it was like we had to take special courses to learn how to do all the equipment, the slides and the film strips and everything. So, I mean, at the time, back in '67, we had to get a lot of training to use it. So you can tell between then and now with cable and radio station and television and with all the different equipment, things have really changed.
What is one thing that you remember from Ridgewood in the past that is gone now that you wish was still here?
I think I really enjoyed having the modular scheduling where we had large groups, small groups, and in the large groups we got to lecture to a large group of students, and then we got into small seminars where we got to talk. It was just, we got to walk around and with a smaller group of students it was a lot different. And I think a lot of kids, the kids I've talked to after they've left here said that the large groups really helped them in college, and the small groups helped them also with the communication skills.
Okay. What hasn't changed much at Ridgewood since you've been here?
It hasn't changed much. I think the students. I think as far as attitude and as far as the way they are, I think they're pretty much the same. I think the parents are still very accommodating, and I think they're easy to work with, and it's wonderful to be able to have that kind of relationship. I think that the classes, I just can't, the students are the things that haven't changed. Teachers got a little bit older, but they still get along real well.
Okay. What's your plan for the future? Are you taking any vacations, getting a job? Are you moving?
Not going to work. I plan on staying here for a while. I'm redecorating my house. I got into decorating and organizing. And I'm going to take some vacations with my husband.
Oh, where are you going?
And probably, we're going to take a couple cruises and do more European trips. And I would like to take some more languages so that I can go on these trips. And shopping, of course. And I do plan on taking some more dancing lessons because my husband and I like to dance. So we want to take tango, salsa, some of those.
Sounds interesting.
So that's the immediate plan.
Okay. Do you have anything you want to talk about that we haven't mentioned here on the Scoop?
Anything I'd like to talk about? Well, I think that since I've been here 33 years, that it's going to be really difficult to leave. Right now it's kind of wrapping things up at the end of the year, but I think that once you're gone, there's certain people that you think, there's a lot of people in this school that I've been here a long time with, and I think that it'll be nice to keep in touch with people. I hope that if there's anybody who's seeing this, wants to get in touch with me, I hope someone will. They can still get in touch with me. I'd like to see, it's really nice when students come back and you see them 5 years later, you find out what they're doing, or 10 years or 20 years, but that's the one thing I hope I can continue to do is see students who've left here.
Okay. Well, you'll certainly be missed. Ridgewood will be a different place next year without Mrs. Paredes. Do you have any final thoughts or words of wisdom to tell everyone you're leaving behind?
I just feel that since I've been here for so long that, I was watching a most of your scene, It's a Wonderful Life, and I think, when they if any of you haven't seen it, one of the comments that's made in there that you know that you're a failure if you have friends, and that you're not a failure. Let me rephrase. No man is a failure who has friends, and I feel that all the friends I've made here makes me feel like I'm a big success, and that the students and the teachers have made me feel that way, the faculty and staff.
Okay, that's nice to say. Well, there you have it. Mrs. Paredes will be gone but not forgotten. And looking at the clock on the wall tells us that time is just about through. But cheer up, because another edition of The Scoop is on the way sooner than you think. I'd like to thank our guest, Mrs. Paredes, for joining us here. For James Andiotis and the rest of the Ridgewood High School Multimedia Club, I'm Monica Szaflik. Thanks for tuning in to WRHS. That's WRHS is the #1 high school TV station in Norris.